Tonight's topic is what I learned from anxiety. Natasha, you? Yeah. What I learned from anxiety. I'm going to tell you 3 things that I learned about anxiety, but I got to tell you my story. And I got to tell you why I'm doing this. You know, in the past week, I've been thinking a lot about how we learn and how we get the information and the awareness that we have. And what I have concluded is a lot of things are modeled for us. They're modeled for us. And if it's not modeled, hopefully we will learn by being taught. Now, years ago, centuries ago, you know, our society was built on an oral tradition. It was verbal. Our history and our culture was passed down from generation to generation verbally. People spoke about it. Even if it wasn't written down, families and communities had conversation. And somewhere in the last, 50 years, we've moved away from having meaningful conversations. We've moved away from sharing things that matter, sharing things that really edify and encourage and educate and equip people for life. And I am starting tonight, I'm going to bring back that oral tradition, and I'm going to share parts of my story. I've got several stories, but I'm going to share part of my story in hopes that it really connects with you, that it gives you strategy, it gives you freedom, it gives you peace, it brings you joy. Worst case scenario, it equips you to be able to help someone else. So tonight's topic, what I learned from anxiety. Earlier today, I posted a picture of this. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a rock. It's a little rock. This was given to me back in 2015. And basically it is kind of shaped so that you're able to hold it between your thumb and your other 2 fingers. A little simple rock. The word isn't the issue. It's that I had it. And for about 6 months or more, this was my absolute best friend. This is what kept me from spazzing out. This is what was able to ground me and keep me in the moment and was able to help me navigate and manage panic attacks. Can you believe that I dealt with that? It's true. But for me to tell you my story, I've got to take you back to 2001. 2001, I had moved to New York in June. I'm loving it. Always wanted to be in New York, and now I'm here. Yay! And then 9/11 happened, and everyone knows September 11th. And I can't remember how many months after 9/11, but I started fainting all over New York. I kid you not. The first time it happened, I fainted in the gym. And I thought, well, you know what, maybe I'm just working out really, really hard. I'm gonna, get this burn. And so I fainted. Nope. I woke up, there's firemen and paramedics and EMTs all around me, and I'm like, what is going on? But I just thought, I worked out really hard. Then it happened again. I fainted in stores. I fainted on train platforms. I fainted in grocery stores. I fainted walking to the train, walking home. I was fainting. I lost count of how many times I fainted. I had went to just about every doctor that I could, EKG, heart, brain, MRI. I had it all done, okay? And everyone concluded, Natasha, you're fine. There's nothing physically wrong with you, so maybe you need to go see a psychiatrist. And that's kind of how it was said. Maybe it's psychosomatic. Maybe it's an issue with you because your body is fine. So yeah, go check your head out. That's basically what was said to me. That was 2001. Fast forward to 2006, 2007. Oh my God. I cannot even explain to you what anxiety and panic attacks feel like. Let me give you the clinical definition because it's really nice. Clinical definition of anxiety is a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks. I'm going to tell you that is really mild. That's actually kind of sweet. It's actually kind of cute to say, you know, a nervous disorder. Let me tell you what it feels like in real life. You ready? It feels like you're about to die. It feels like a heart attack and an asthma attack, and your world is about to blow up right before your eyes right now. And so whatever you're doing in that moment, you have to abort mission now. Run away, you gotta go now. That's what it feels like. So the clinical definition is cute, but I'm telling you that in real life, anxiety feels like you're about to die. A panic attack feels like you're about to die. In 2006, 2007, you know, it was really easy for me to leave New York because I was experiencing so much panic, so much anxiety. And, you know, years later, today, I kind of understand or have a better understanding that, you know, I was supposed to be, some people know this, if you didn't, now you know, I was supposed to be at I was supposed to be at the World Trade Centers on 9/11. I was supposed to arrive there around 8:45 because I had a 9 o'clock meeting and I was going to be on time. So I was supposed to be there. But about maybe 6:30 in the morning, my cousin actually came into my room in Queens and, you know, asked me to walk her to school. So Nasia, shout out to you for coming in, asking me to walk her to school. And I left a message, postponed my meeting, and I walked her to school. And on my way back home, that's when I saw cars stopped at green lights. And I'm looking, well, okay, you have the right of way, so you can go. But then someone waved me over, was like, hey, you know, the towers just blew up. And so at that time, I wasn't thinking that what was happening at that moment was contributing to me fainting all over New York. I mean, that's so weird. But, you know, as time went on, I didn't even want to leave the house because I got tired of fainting everywhere all over New York City. So I left, you know, shout out to Amber, my bestie, who was an amazing support, who didn't judge, who was there, who was present, who came and got me. Shina, I love you. Shina was my stylist and friend, my fellow model, who was just present, in New York. We didn't have to talk, we didn't have to do anything, we just go out to get something to eat, and that was a calming agent, a calming presence in my life. So I left, went to Maryland. Fast forward to 2013, let's do that. I moved to Tampa, it's sunshine, it's amazing. Warm weather, this is what I'm used to. Oh my goodness. 2013 was like all hell broke loose. So here's what I want you all to know. Here's the lesson. Let me do a little sidebar. If you judge me and judge anyone only on the pictures that you see on Facebook, you are missing the story. There's no context. And that's why we need to communicate. That's why there's got to be a return to community where we actually have conversations, where we actually pass down wisdom from generation to generation. Because pictures show a moment, but conversation, the oral tradition, is what tells the story and gives context and really empowers and equips us to be able to fight in tough times. So 2013, I'm in Tampa. It should be great, but everything was new. New city, new environment, new people, new culture, and that's when it started. Now, mind you, from 2001 until 2013, no one had ever used the word anxiety or panic attack to me. Never. I had been to several doctors and no one had ever used that term. And in 2013, wow, 2013 was the first time that I had heard that term and that phrase and that word. And it was when someone really, really dear and close to me recognized what I couldn't see. Recognize, the wide eyes, the sweaty palms, the heart feeling like it's going to beat out of your chest, that absolute feeling of dread. I've got to escape right now, run for the hills. The sky is falling down. They recognized in me something that no clinician, no doctor had ever seen, had ever noticed, had ever reported, and basically said, you are having a panic attack. What? Me, Come on. I'm too successful. I'm too together. I'm too accomplished. I don't have time for panic attacks. Well, that's exactly what it was. And 2013 really kicked off 2 years of simultaneous hell and a journey of self-discovery. 2013, let me keep it real for you, because that's what this is about. I'm not going to do these lives if I'm not telling you what I've lived and what I know. None of what I'm sharing with you tonight, besides that definition, is based on what I read in a book. This is something that I lived. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm doing this because someone that's watching either tonight or in the future needs to know that you're not alone. You're not weird. You're not crazy. Things like this happen, even to people who seemingly look all put together. 2013, November, I wrecked the front of my car driving over a median and into oncoming traffic just so I can get into a CVS. That's where I filled my prescriptions, and I knew the pharmacist knew me and he'd figure out what was wrong with me, because in that moment, I thought I was having an asthma attack. As a child, I had asthma, so I knew what asthma attacks felt like. But in that moment, I knew that I had maybe 10, 15 seconds max before I passed out behind the wheel. And so all of Tampa's traffic had to come to a stop because I drove over the median, wrecked the front of my car, went into oncoming traffic, got into a CVS, called for the pharmacist, and passed out. That's what panic attacks look like. That's what panic attacks sound like. That's the reality of it. And I'm grateful for my pharmacist who was like, okay, he knew in that moment what was happening and was able to, get me medicine in that moment, and it was better. So that's 2013. 2014, hell. I mean, that's the way that I can describe it. I'm giving you the real, because you either need to know that you're not alone or you need to develop some empathy. The feeling and the draw that I had to do this today just lets me know that I'm speaking to someone. It might be all of you. In 2014, my panic attacks were so bad that I had to get a disabled person's parking permit. I keep it just so that I can remember. I was unable to go into parking garages without a panic attack. I could not walk long distances, like from the parking lot to the grocery store, without a panic attack. Sometimes I would go to Walmart and have a panic attack. I was unable, and Tampa has so many bridges. In Maryland, you've got that awful bridge that takes you over to Delaware. I hate that bridge. But I was unable to drive over bodies of water. And that's living in Tampa, that's challenging. And I remember one time that I was driving and panic attack. And so what does that mean? That means you put on your blinkers, you reduce your speed to 10 miles an hour, and everyone behind you is just going to have to deal with you driving slow, because you don't know if you're going to pass out, black out, or drive into the water. It's real talk. That's really what I was dealing with in 2014, 2015. It's real life, isn't it? Oh my God, Natasha, really? You, the speaker, trainer, author, model, actress, dealing with panic attacks? Yeah. And I would love to say that it was a time where I got to try different things and they all worked. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I tried. Okay, you ready for this list? Counseling, coaching, prayer, meditation, affirmations, breathing techniques, mindfulness, journaling, lots and lots of personal development. I did my omega-3, 6, 9s. I added vitamin D to the equation. I even took vitamin B12s. I tried melatonin, because during this time I also had insomnia. So I tried melatonin. I did the raw cherry juice. I used lavender oil in a diffuser and on my pillow. I took valerian root. I drank chamomile tea. I did a fast. I did a cleanse. I did colonics. I did juicing. I did tapping, stress management, exercise, got out in the sun, and of course I had my grounding stone. I say that because sometimes people who aren't aware of mental health will ask the question, well, what are you doing about it? What are you trying? What are you, if you really worked hard, if you really focused, you wouldn't have to deal with that. And so I list all of those things so you know what I did. And if you know me, you know how hard I work. I don't like excuses. I don't accept weakness for myself. And so I tried everything. And all of those things still made me anxious. I'm looking at this list and I can't even believe it myself. I was still anxious, still dealing with it. Still dealing with it. And, today I was just thinking that there's so many people. It took me 12 years from 2001 when I first started fainting until 2013 where I actually had a name and a term to define exactly what I was experiencing. It took 12 years for someone to even mention something that gave me a foundation to start from. And today, when I was just prepping for this, I can't allow you to go 12 years. If it's up to me, I am not going to have you or anyone close to me go 12 years struggling, 12 years trying things, 12 years feeling alone, feeling misunderstood, not wondering what's wrong with you. Because panic attacks will mimic anything. It'll mimic an asthma attack, a heart attack, a stroke. You just feel like your brain is about to explode. You're going to lose your mind. I can't do that. I can't do that. I care about you and I care about people too much to allow anyone to suffer, to allow anyone to go through what I went through. I'm sharing this tonight because you need to know that you're not alone. I'm sharing tonight because you need to develop empathy. Let me tell you some things that I learned from anxiety. The first thing that I learned is that empathy is the lubricant that ushers in change. Empathy is the lubricant that ushers in change. In 2013, when a name was given to what I was experiencing, that person saw me. Didn't see the nerves, didn't see the sweaty palms, the heart beating, okay, I gotta get out of here right now. A person was able to see me and look beyond what was shown to see exactly what I was experiencing. And as a society, we just lack empathy. We are doing a poor job with being empathetic. When I hear a veteran tell me that there is no safe place in America for him on the 4th of July, that tells me that as a society, we are failing. We are failing veterans. We are failing people who are dealing with mental health issues, challenges, illnesses, whatever you want to call it. We're failing. And it's because we lack empathy. We lack the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, in someone else's life. I don't need to break my ankle to know that it hurts. I don't even have to break my ankle and feel it and experience all the pain to know that it hurts you. All I need to know is that you're in discomfort, period. You're in discomfort. And so my role, my job, all of our jobs should be to help alleviate another person's pain. I don't have to agree. All I have to do is care that you hurt. That's it. And empathy is the lubricant that is going to usher in change. There's some people that you think need to change their lives. Some people around you need to change their behaviors. How empathetic are you? I'm reminded of the quote, seek first to understand and then to be understood. If you, me, we seek first to understand another's pain that sometimes they're unable to articulate, I don't need you to explain to me why you hurt. I just need to know that you hurt. And that's enough for me. And I think as a society, what we really need to get back to is that sense of community. If you're hungry, guess what? I'm hungry. If you're in need, I'm in need. If you're hurting, I'm hurting. Ubuntu is an amazing word. It means that we are inextricably linked. We are connected. There is no way that I can allow you to hurt and not think it's going to affect me. That's just not the way society works. That's just not the way community works. And we're not made to be islands. And so tonight, my God, mental health is health. That's the second thing I learned dealing with anxiety. I can't take care of my body and take care of my emotions and make sure I'm having fun and take care of finances and not be aware of my mental health. And neither can you. Sometimes we normalize behaviors. We normalize things like when it takes you 3 hours to take a shower before leaving the house. That's a sign of social anxiety. You need to know the signs because there's someone in your life that's taking 4 hours to take a shower. I know because I've done it. There's someone in your life that does not like grocery stores or does not like the mall. It's because there's a social anxiety that's happening, that's occurring in their life, and they aren't able to articulate what it is, and so they need your understanding. They need your understanding. They need your understanding. And even if you don't understand, be present. Be present. That's one of the most important things you can do. Things that I learned from anxiety. Third one is nothing goes to waste. There is no coincidence that the vast majority of people I attract as clients are dealing with anxiety. You know why? Because I understand. I'm empathetic. I have an understanding of what they're experiencing, not from a book. And I love clinicians, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists. There's room for them. But I attract people who have similar experiences to my own. I can see it. Grocery store, church, mall, wherever. I can see people and recognize people who are dealing with anxiety because I'm called to help them. I'm called to give them strategy. I'm called to support. I'm just called to stand alongside them. And sometimes it's not even about fixing anything. It's just about being present. So here's what I want to leave with, end with. What is the response? What is the response from the community? I urge all community leaders, all politicians, if you have any title or role in society, I encourage you to immediately make room for these conversations. There are people in your cities, states, districts, municipalities, whatever, that are suffering in silence. Not just them, but they have children that are dealing with this, and they're ill-equipped. They're ill-equipped. They don't have the information. Make room for open conversations. Have a town hall meeting, have a forum hosted at a school, a PTA meeting, whatever it is, but make room for these conversations. There is absolutely no way that you're going to be able to heal and grow your community without tackling some of the issues that are right now and right in the faces of all of your residents. What's the church's response? I would love to say that from 2001 to the 2014-15, that the church was a mainstay and the church was a support. I would love to say that, but I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. And you know why? And I'm if you think I'm beating up on churches, well, it wasn't a support for me. Anything that I did was vertical. It was me and God. It was internal, me and God. The church was not there for me because the church doesn't understand. From New York to Maryland to Florida, churches are missing this. You're missing out on an opportunity to really provide support for people in your membership. You're missing it. missing it in a huge way. You've got to expand your ministries. Yes, single women and men and kids. Yes, what about mental health? What about having coaches and counselors and therapists on hand, volunteering their time, their services for people who need help now? What about that? From New York, I remember with my best friend that we walked out of a church one time because from the pulpit, the words crazy and, a whole bunch of other derogatory words were used. Here's the thing. Churches, you have to recognize that there is room. There is space at the table for clinicians. Not everything is found. Post your comments if you want to. I'm telling you my truth. Not everything is solved just with a scripture. And hear me when I say just. Okay? Sometimes they need therapy. Sometimes medication is needed. Sometimes coaching is needed. Sometimes water, omega-3s, all of those things. But you're going to have to open up your ministries to include people who are not just dealing with the cookie cutter easy issues, the gambling, the pornography, sex, etc. You're going to have to open up your ministry to allow for people with real issues, real right now issues, to have space at the table, to have a safe place to speak, to share without judgment, without stigma. It's not always about deliverance. It's not always about casting things out. It's not always about possession and oppression. I'm telling you from what I know. Feel free to disagree if you like, but I'm telling you what I know. And I'm telling you because I've been able to successfully walk people through their anxiety and walk people through their issues. And there is a tandem, a co-parenting, if you will, relationship between spirit, recognizing spirit. Another thing I learned is that I'm more than my body, and I'm going a little bit over, so I hope you all stay with me. But I'm more than my body. Recognizing that I'm a spirit, being able to breathe through some of the challenges that I was dealing with in those moments. It's not about a scripture. It's about connecting with the spirit within you, the model within. There is a spirit within you, that spirit that gives life. I think it's Spiritus Esque Vivicat. That was my Latin motto for my university. It's a spirit that gives life. You got to equip people with not just scripture, but you're going to have to give them strategy for walking things out when they're on a highway, 60 miles an hour, cars are zooming by them, and they're having a panic attack. You need strategy in those moments. So churches, please make room. There's opportunity for you to do ministry. There's opportunity for you to really equip and empower. You got to make room beyond those easy to judge sins. Notice my air quotes. All right, what's the family and friends response? Family and friends, you are going to have to educate yourself. You're going to have to go online. You're going to have to watch a TED Talk. You're going to have to watch a YouTube video. You're going to have to buy a book. You're going to have to educate yourself, because if you're dealing with a mental health challenge, or there's someone close to you, someone in your family, a friend that's dealing with it, it is not enough for you to go based on what you learned from watching Law and Order SVU, or go based on what you've learned watching TV. It's not enough. You have to get knowledgeable. That's the first thing. You're not going to be able to provide adequate support without understanding exactly what it is they're dealing with. And then here's the other thing. Sometimes, especially when a person is in the midst of a panic attack, they don't need your words. They need your presence. They need your presence. Just be there. Just be there. Just stand there. Just sit there. If you're going to say anything, tell them, I'm here for you. I'm with you. I'm right here with you. I'm not going anywhere. Those are the things they need to hear. Here's the number one thing that a person dealing with a panic attack does not want to hear. So why are you feeling anxious? Really? Why are you feeling anxious? That question is tantamount to asking, so why can't you control your insulin? Why are you having seizures? Like, why is your blood pressure high? Why can't you focus? Don't ask that. Be present. Be present. Just support. Employers, what is your role? What's your role in this? Number one, you need to expand your sensitivity training. I know you guys cover sexual harassment and you cover racism and you cover, maybe you're finally touching on bullying, but you're going to have to expand. You're going to have to understand and recognize that sometimes disability in today's world goes beyond missing a limb, goes beyond being hearing impaired. It goes beyond that. You're going to have to do more. Here's the thing. Have you all noticed that throughout this entire broadcast, I did not say why I was dealing with this or ask why or prefer why? Because why doesn't matter. Why you're dealing with anxiety matters as much as why are you autistic. What, Natasha? Yes. Why does it matter? My why matters to me because it gives me a guide. It gives me a format, a gauge, a track to follow in terms of personal development. But just for anyone that's dealing with anxiety, the why you're dealing with it in the moment that you're having a panic attack doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You need support. And so as I wrap this all up, can you tell that I'm really passionate about this? I'm passionate about it because I am tired of people. I'm tired of the stigma. I'm tired of the lack of communication and discussion and conversation around mental health. I'm tired of it. There are people dying. When people commit suicide, you know what their families say, what their friends say? Oh my God, if only I knew. Well, I hope tonight that I gave you some signs that allow you to be more empathetic to someone that might be dealing with anxiety. I am grateful that I've had such amazing people in my life that have really been a constant support to me. 20-year span of people. Shanique, Catherine, Amber, Shina, oh my God. My sister, Cassandra, Jonathan, Commissioner, Jonathan Medlock. I appreciate you all. I am because you are. I am because you are. And isn't that what community is all about? You know, the bottom line is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so if I could leave you with anything, my God, take my story. I don't know how you all see me. I mean, I've kind of heard some of how you see me, perfect, lashes, makeup. But I deal with things. Facebook pictures do not tell the whole story. And so as I posted last week, there's someone missing from your Facebook news feed. Reach out to them. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. This is the month that we're going to focus on it. But really it should be something that we focus on year round. We must return to community. We must return to having conversations and oral tradition and sharing even our struggles, sharing our moments of vulnerability, sharing the times where we're not strong. And for me, my need to share tonight was greater than my need to make you think I'm perfect. It was greater than my need to make you think that I have it all together all the time. No, this thing proves that that's not true. And so I love you. I love you. Please love someone else. Please be empathetic. My God, you don't have to understand their hurt. And this extends beyond disability or illness. This extends to race, this extends to education, to socioeconomic status. You don't have to be another race or have more money or less money, or have more education or less education in order to be empathetic. Be empathetic. All right? I hope you got something from this. Provoking Thoughts with Natasha every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do me a favor, if you got something out of this tonight, please share the video. You never know who can be impacted. I was with you tonight for 30 plus minutes, but this video, I'm going to keep it public so that everyone, anyone, wherever they are, I'm believing that whoever needs to watch this video, whoever needs to know that they are not alone, whoever needs strategy, whoever needs support and encouragement, that they're going to see it. That's what I believe.